About Henri Rousseau. Henri Rousseau worked as a toll booth operator in Paris and dreamt of becoming a famous painter. It wasn't until he was in his 40s that he started painting. After work, he spent many hours creating his art and joined a group of artists who exhibited their work without the approval of the official salon, which at the time was the only way to be taken seriously as a working artist. Art critics laughed at Rousseau's self-taught style and said it was simple looking, but other artists encouraged Rousseau, who told him that his paintings were very good. Rousseau loved painting pictures of the jungle, even though he had never been to one. He visited zoos and botanical gardens in Paris and studied the animals and nature around him. Rousseau's paintings often resemble illustrations in a storybook. He worked on his paintings very slowly, inch by inch. Towards the end of his life, a few people paid him to create paintings for them, but his artwork was not recognized until after he died. Now his artwork hangs in the world's best museums. We have been working on a jungle picture inspired by the artist Henri Rousseau. We practiced drawing different kinds of plants and flowers. We began by drawing the foreground of our picture of our jungle. The foreground is what is closest to us. It's the biggest, and it touches the very bottom of your paper. After the foreground was finished, then we worked on the background, which is behind the foreground. We had to do some overlapping so that you could tell which was foreground and which was background. And we did all this with oil pastel. For the background, we were allowed to add some animals if we wanted to. Maybe an elephant or a lion or a monkey, an owl, a snake, a tiger, maybe some insects or whatever you thought of. So once your jungle picture is done, you've done the foreground, the background with oil pastel. The next step is the painting step. We're going to use a kind of paint that's called tempera cakes. It's kind of like watercolor paint, except that it's a little bit brighter. So to use tempera cakes, you need water and a paintbrush. You do need to clean your brush between colors. A piece of paper towel is helpful for cleaning your brush. So when you're ready, just take your brush and rub it in the color that you want. They're dry, so you do have to get them wet, rub them for a while and get them wet. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to fill it in. You can pretty much paint this any color you want. It's kind of a fantasy jungle, so it does not have to be realistic colors. I think using bright, colorful colors will be more fun and interesting. If your color starts to get light, that just means you need to rub it in the paint a little bit more. So we're going to try to stay in the lines. It's best to paint inside the lines first, and then when you are done, then you can fill in the empty space in the background. You could use a blue for a sky, or maybe you just want to use green to make it look like more vegetation. Or maybe you want to use a variety of colors. We're just not mixing colors so much. If you mix too much, your colors turn a muddy brown, and that's what we don't want. We really want to keep our colors clean and bright. These are going to be very bright and colorful jungle pictures. So we would do paint in all of the spaces on the inside of the lines, and then even though I'm not done with all of that, I do want to show you how to do the background. So I'm going to do some blue, so I'm rubbing my brush in the blue. This is again called tempera cakes. And then just in the space behind the leaves and the plants and the animals and the fruit, we're gonna fill it in. So basically the whole thing, your whole paper is going to be painted. There really shouldn't be any white spots left, unless maybe there's a few little areas that you want to be white. Then if you want white, you just don't paint in that spot. But there shouldn't be much white left. You really need to try to fill in all of the spaces. It's going to take a while. You might not get it done in one art time. That's okay. We'll work on it again next time.